So I've been with Motor City Mini for just over 18 years. So I sold starting in June of 2007. And so I sold all the way up until about 2 years ago. So 2 years before that, I was a selling manager as the new car sales manager. And then 2 years ago, I became the general sales manager. So I don't sell anymore, but I'll peel off the customers to the salespeople and they'll take it from there. So I've always billed our location as what's called an enthusiast destination. So one thing that we do very well here is we encourage and sell a lot of the John Cooper Works line. And it's just something part of the demographic of being in the Motor City, being in a car-centric area of the country where people will order high equipment, high option vehicles. So the John Cooper Works in this market has always done very well. And I've always liked to build as many as I can get, and we sell them all. So that's one thing that I do think the store does well with is the John Cooper Works line. And when I first started doing it years and years ago, it was when John Cooper Works were very rare and they were kind of expensive. And if you got one, you kind of were nervous that you wouldn't sell it or that it would take a while to sell. So, when we first started doing it, we kind of dipped our toes in the water and instead of building one or two, we built 3 or 4 and just kind of, see where it landed. And what would happen is other dealers would start asking us for the cars. So what I saw that as is there was interest, but people were kind of afraid to build them. But they saw if another dealer would build them, okay, I'll ask for that one. So that told me that there is interest in that building as many as you can is a good thing because eventually they will sell. So that initial response to rolling out the JCW line was a good way to be introduced to it. And so now it's part of our whole process is John Cooper Works we have a whole section of John Cooper Works cars. If we have multiple, we park them all up front on the front lines there to show off the most expensive ones. So we lean into it, and I really like the fact that all the sales team and the staff enjoy the John Cooper Works line too. So Mini Anywhere has been a great partner for us because it generates the leads, it gets the engagement, it takes people from shopping and it gets them down the funnel to where they're filling out a credit application, where they're getting quoted payments, where they're finding out if the exact vehicle, whether it's new or used, is available. So it's a great tool for us because we use the momentum that it starts. And we take that and then we turn it into a customer by any means possible. So it does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Yeah, so it's come a long way. Digital retailing is definitely, there's a market for it. It just depends on the willingness or engagement of the customer, how much they want to do online. In the Midwest here, we're probably a little bit further behind what the West Coast does, or what some other markets where there's a lot of electric cars, and where those people will tend to buy them online only, or it is almost all online only. So that told me where some markets that are used to it, there is a way forward with it. It's a little bit slower over here with the momentum of doing that, but it's a tool nonetheless. A lot of people do like the engagement of calling or shopping around or seeing what's available or just generally showing up in the showroom. So I think there's both. There's opportunity with fully digital retailing, but also people that want to come in and drive and see and touch and have the tactility. So I think there's advantages to both, and I think they both kind of will, eventually work hand in hand with each other. So the level or the second generation of Mini Anywhere has come a long way. I remember the very first version of, the infancy with Faraz and going over it, and I've liked it from the beginning, and I like it to this day. So it gives them full power and full control, which I like, because the more informed they are, the more likely that they're going to trust us and the more likely they're going to trust the process. So I've always believed in full transparency. When I first started selling cars, the first thing that I kind of set as my constitution is I don't want to be a cliche and I don't want to be a typical car salesperson. So every customer, every person has access to the same information online. So before, where nobody knew what invoice was or nobody knew what certain margins were, you could make it up, and then the dealers would do that, and they would get a reputation for being dishonest. So everyone has access to the same information now, and I like that. I like that the customer has the control, because it disarms them and it makes them feel more comfortable. And then now that they have the control, they're more likely to buy, and they're more likely to spend, and they're more likely to engage. So I think it's actually a positive of what the whole digital buying experience will offer. It's been positive through and through. They've been, you guys have been responsive, receptive. We're appreciative of the partnership. And so I appreciate any tools that we have to help sell, engage, generate consideration. I'm all for it. And the fact that we have the support is just, that's, icing on the cake for us. So we appreciate it. Well, I mean, it's going that way anyways, right? So we already know that certain markets are doing it. Certain brands are doing it. So it's going to happen regardless, no matter what. So for us, any option that creates more visibility, that creates more engagement, that creates more consideration, I'm all for. So I do think that it's the right time for it. It's a learning process, or it's a work in process. It's not, there's a lot of factors, as we can tell from the very first iteration of it to the current one, how many different things are factored into buying and selling cars, especially when it's done online through a computer system without human interaction. So from where it started to where it is now has been a huge improvement, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. So we like it. Well, I mean, I like how it's straight, it's very simple. So, when you get the lead, it shows the customer, the car, the picture of the car, which kind of sounds silly, but, sometimes, for us here at Mini, we know the cars by the way they look versus stock number. So if you say the yellow two-door with the John Cooper Works kit, I know what you're talking about versus stock number P4567. So I actually kind of like that it shows the exact car, because I can know, okay, that car's available, no, that car's sold, okay, this car's used, okay. So that's one thing that I noticed right away, is that I'm able to look at the lead and right away know, okay, I know what car this is, I know if it's available, and then I have the customer's name, phone number, email. I have everything right there, so I'm able to collect a lot of information just by scanning it, and I don't have to go through a lot of screens. So I do appreciate the ease of use of being able to clock it and then take it from there. Yeah, I mean, we like to make the experience here fun for the employees, the customers. We like to make it feel like home. We like to make people feel part of the community. And, we like to have fun here. And that's, if you've ever seen the 30 Rock episode of Tina Fey, where she says fun is mandatory. And that's what, it's kind of a joke where, it's mandatory fun, meaning we want the atmosphere, we want the feeling for people to come in and know that it's a good experience, it's a good time. We're going to take care of them. We're going to show them the options. We're going to give them information so they can make the decision for themselves. And we like to make it a positive experience. And Mini is a great brand to do that with. You can't do that with a lot of brands. But the customers, they come in here, they expect something a little bit different. And we like to show them something different.